So, welcome back. Here I've disassembled the oil pumps and the oil gears. Now, I did notice a difference. These oil pumps, this is the UMC D65 engine oil pump. Now, I don't see any much difference. I do have to scavenge this oil tube and hopefully I can... This one had a larger oil catch, so I'm trying to, if I can, swap them over. But I did notice, now these are actually the same units, but there's like, you can hear wobble. This one, very slight wobble at all. But if it was on the tractor, you could actually, well, actually I'm looking at these and where this one's worn pretty, yeah, okay, that's normal. But this main slack, you turn this oil pump, has almost no pressure. And this one feels tight, no excessive wear, no excessive play here. This one, actually by the finger you can hear, yeah, this one's toast. So I guess this is the problem. The oil pressure was dropping, the pump's just way too worn. And well, from here I'm gonna see if I can actually assemble, swap those parts and put the pump back on. There was some excessive oil in the pan. I don't know if this is the new oil, but it rather looks like the old oil. And also, when I last was in here, I put the original stock gasket and look how much it has shrunk actually over the years. I had to pinch new holes because the holes were almost misaligned in the back. So this oil pan is going to be a spare now. The new one's painted, cleaned, and I'm going to also throw away this gasket because it's no good anyway. Okay, here's the comparison of the new oil pan and the old one, which was on the tractor. Now, when you look at close, man, like this thing's been dented and bent all the way. And this is not a factory weld. Someone later has used welding or, sheared off the oil trailing plug. So, yeah, I mean, look at the new one. This one's like brand new. And this old one, yeah, I mean, it's badly kinked. And the main reason for changing this is that the pan itself is warped. So it would always leak from the gasket. Except if you would put, silicone on it. And yeah, that's the main reason for changing this oil pan, is just the fact the old oil pan looks just worn and old. I mean, it can be reused, but man, I mean, pounding out all those dents is just not worth the time. Also, there's the new gasket I got from the store, and I've already put the oil pump back in, made new gaskets here, also for the oil sump. I like the older, I did notice that the older oil pump had longer bolts, but this one has much shorter ones. So there is a difference between those pumps, but it's mainly just the length of the threads. That's about it. There's the yoke with the shaft, and yeah, that's the kind of play that's normal, and this very little play in the pump. So those who are curious, this is how the engine looks from the inside. I mean, those who have Caterpillar T2s, you may recognize a few pieces that are similar or well, close to that. Also, pro tip, if you're installing the oil pump and you have a frame, or yeah, just put something underneath the oil pump to align the oil pump and the oil and the first gear towels. So it's a much easier job than to just hold the whole assembly with the hand. Also, another pro tip, these are around 25 or 30 Newton meters. So if you're tightening them, don't over tighten them because you may accidentally trash the threads. Just all I'm going to say. I didn't put any you know, nylock or something like that, because they hardly, you know, come loose. If they're, you know, bolted in correctly, they won't come loose. Same goes with this side. So those are the tips I can give. And now let's move forward and trying to install the oil pan. And when installing the oil pan, the order of tightening it with the gasket is going in a line like this, you know, from the inwards to the outwards in a similar pattern. So I am gonna start doing this, and I'm gonna show you the end result. Okay, so we have assembled the oil pan, and I don't see any leaks. And I also put, I said before, well, the literature says sometimes it's 12 or 16 liters of oil. I put 15 liters in, and we're almost at full. That's the peace sign, which means full. So we don't want to overfill it, but seems all is good. The hydraulic tank is filled. By the way, the literature says it's around 16 to 17 liters of engine oil in the oil pan and 22.5 liters in the hydraulic system. But they're all now filled. Of course, because I forgot to put, you know, oil into the oil pump, I had to pre-lube the engine with the starting engine before we're going to start it. So I did check, it has decent oil pressure, so we're not going to ruin anything. But here's another issue I wanted to tackle. It's this generator. Now, or actually to say alternator, because this one puts out alternating currents. That would be the correct term. So this is a brand new one, never been used. And this one's a used one. And the problems I had with these was that one of these, by the way, this one functions directly. It doesn't need any relays or, you know, alternators. All the currents that comes, it's like just a huge magneto. That's about it for headlights and dash lights, of course. So this one had a problem where I was getting, you know, let's turn the back, and I was getting 12 volts from here, 11 volts from here. This one had 24 volts, this one had 7, this one 9, and these two didn't produce any voltage at all when the tractor engine was running. So what this tells me is, you know, probably there's a problem inside these. I mean, bearings look okay, but I don't know, like these ones, if they work, they work. If they fail, they've completely failed. This is, by the way, the later model. There's an older version of this, which is a really big one, but I don't have the bracket for that. I only have a bracket for this one, so we're going only with this. Also, notice is this one had also the wrong belt pulley on. I have the correct one here, but we need to scavenge from this one the nut, the lock washer, and the keyway to this one and put this one on the tractor. So not sure if it's going to function, but I also found some wires that are a bit messed up. So I'm going to go and assemble this, and we'll see back later when it's all done. Okay, the alternator is done. And I put a new belt pulley here because, well, the old one was the wrong anyway. Rewired everything, greased everything, secured it tight, so we're good at that end. And if you can look at the old belt pulley, you can see, yeah, one side's missing from the keyway. So yeah, this was no good at all. Just when installing this, a pro tip, it can go both ways, but if you put it the wrong way, you're going to soon hit the bolts here, so you know that you've messed up. So not a big deal if you do that. So now, since we're out of that, and since I did some other minor adjustments, we should do the first official cold start. Like, we're going to see how this thing runs. Now, granted that I didn't mess up anything, this should run fine, but there's a chance I may have forgotten something. But, well, let's see. If I messed up, I messed up. I mean, you learn more from your mess-ups than you do from your success. We'll start. Let's see how this thing's gonna go. I've already pre-primed the fuel, so should run fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay. We primed the starting engine, and we're just gonna see what's gonna happen. I mean, it should run. Appendix engaged, clutch engaged, decompression engaged, fuel lever engaged. We're in neutral, so it should all work, but we'll see soon. And also it's rope start only, so there's no other. The other way to start it is to just push start with an tractor. That's it. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the oil pressure we want to see. Also, decent fuel pressure. It's cold yet, but man, that's good oil pressure for a cold motor. But the alternator is not working. I'm gonna find a probe and see where the problem's at. Okay, we're back, and I couldn't find the light bulb. I know I have two light bulbs somewhere, but couldn't find them. But we do have headlights. Look at this. I mean, it's faint, but there also we have rear lights. So yeah, this one's, I mean, you can barely see this, but yeah, it's working. I mean, with the other generator, the rear headlights wouldn't work at all. I mean, I thought that this was going to be just a, you know, waste of time, but it's not. I mean, there's a bad connection somewhere. That's why the headlights are like that dim. But originally they're not that bright at all. So yeah, electrical system needs some work, but the engines has warmed up and the oil pressure hasn't dropped below 4 kilograms per square centimeter. So, or cubic centimeter should be the correct term. So, I mean, it's getting better. So now it's just a light tidy up and we can do some work. And I hope that this video was useful for someone who is struggling with the same problems. We're far from done. I mean, this is only the first step out of many we're about to do, but I'm gonna keep you informed how it's going. So we've also got some other projects coming along, so I guess just enjoy the video and see you in the next one.